Welcome to Get Busy Living with Clark Bartram. Man, I am so excited for this episode today because when you talk about get busy living, like I told you before in the first episode, that came directly from one of my favorite movies of all time, Shawshank Redemption, and the rest of the movie are Get Busy Dying. Now, my friend, my brother, Francisco Ortega is with me today, and with that idea of Shawshank, right? That's a prison. That's a notorious prison that I was actually in, not as an inmate, but I told this story on episode number 1.
Yeah.
I was a drug mule at the age of 10 years old from my uncle who was locked up in Mansfield State Penitentiary.
Yeah.
And we had chicken in the biscuit crackers. He would line, his girlfriend would line the inside with drugs, drop them in the trash can. The janitor, Otis, knew that the chicken and the biscuits had the drugs.
Yeah.
He took them in. Uncle went in, got strip searched. They had the whole little syndicate going on in there. So you know a little bit about this sort of thing, right? You know, so before we get into your life story, let's talk about how we met, right?
Well, it's funny how we met, Clark. We met at the gym, made eye contact, and it was like there it was. It was just set up so beautifully, like we've been knowing each other forever. The chemistry was there. You can't hide when you meet somebody, and like, you know. And Clark's like, we're gonna work together. In my head, I'm like, yeah, sure. Everybody says that, you know. You're coming through, big time coming through. You invited me to your house. I met your wife. I met your son, and I met the brother that was like
Kenny,
the
madman.
The madman. He's blessed, lots of wisdom, you know. And when we're just, it was like a big old just family,
right?
Especially at your house.
It's all about
and
it.
I told you too, I was like a little nervous, like I am now. And I was just like, me and Kenny were just talking the whole time. We didn't even work out.
Didn't even lift the weight.
Not even once.
It's important, right, to have people in your life that you can trust. Pull that microphone in a little bit because I know you got some great stuff that you're going to share. So we met in the gym. I was walking past you. You just said, hey, how old are you, man? And I turn around, and like you said, the chemistry was there. The connection is there. And that might sound weird. Like, you're a tough guy, right? I'm a buff guy. People are like, oh, the chemistry, that's only for girls to talk about. But that's not, right? When you have a connection with somebody, it's important that you follow through with your word. And be a man of integrity and character. And that's how I see you. I want you to understand that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Because a lot of people might put a label on you. Convict, criminal, gang member, tough guy, bad person, or whatever. Right? So let's go a little bit back in time in your life. Tell me a little bit about your childhood and kind of where you kind of got off the path, and then we'll start telling people about how long you were locked up, where you were locked up, the lessons you learned, because again, the overarching theme in this conversation is get busy living.
Yes, sir.
Right? And you can get busy living inside or outside.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Take us back to young Cisco.
Well, I'm Cisco. My parents come from Oaxaca. I grew up in the barrio Carlos Malo, known as Carlsbad. If you read the book of Rain of Gold, that's how it starts. It all started in a city called Carlsbad, but the Hispanics call it Barrio Carlos Malo. It's beautiful, man. I grew up in a beautiful neighborhood. I'm not ashamed. I love it. I'm proud to say I'm from Carlsbad, you know. People now say, oh, Carlsbad, rich area, but back then, it was a Mexican community. Hispanic
you don't think about Carlsbad as you think of rich white people.
Yeah, you do. But you from the railroad tracks to from the freeway to railroad tracks, that was the barrio.
Okay.
Barrio Carlos Malo, you know? And you got to be proud of you, man. You're from a neighborhood, homie. Like, I come from a Mexican neighborhood, and it's called Carlos Malo, and I'm proud of it, man.
Viva la raza.
Yes, sir. I have a twin brother. I have a sister that's a teacher in Oceanside.
So you have a twin?
I have a twin.
Identical?
Fraternal.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally different.
Yeah.
And my sister's a teacher, and my parents were both immigrants from Oaxaca, you know? Yeah. And I used to box when I was a kid for Joint Hand Save a Life from Frank right there in Carlsbad.
Well, I've seen the videos. This guy his hands are fast, and he knows where to place them.
Thank you. And I stopped boxing because my mom didn't let me. So
this is around what age?
16. 17.
Okay, and life is good up to this point. You're not doing anything wrong. You're going to school. You're living a life, right? No gang affiliation, nothing.
The neighborhood was always there, but I just kept busy going to school, boxing. But I had my little girl. I had a daughter at 17.
Okay.
So I just kind of derailed. Became from the neighborhood, had a job, started doing drugs, And at 19, I got charged with premeditated attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, and threatening a witness.
Wow.
And I got convicted at 20.
So a lot of the stories that I hear from speaking to guys in prison, because I've been through a lot of them speaking, is that their crime was done because of drugs.
Yes. And mine was more of a...
either to get them or because you were on them or selling them or some form or fashion.
Yes, and it was more of a... It was crazy because we went somewhere. I got hit with the bottom back of my head and grabbed the knife and hit the dude, And
So hit the dude. What does that mean?
I stabbed him.
Okay.
So I hit him, and that led to my charge, But it was the reason because I was fighting, and somebody hit me with the bottom. They broke the bottom back of my head, and reaction was just a natural reaction, Defend myself.
So what led up to you were obviously at the wrong place with the wrong people.
Yes.
So that just doesn't happen.
No, we were there. We were at a party. People were drinking. People getting high. Things were said. And you're just like, man, these guys are acting tough. And like, oh, I'm tougher. At that age, you're like, I can put this fool down.
Yeah. So you're 19.
Yeah.
You know how to box.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're capable. You're like, okay, we're gonna handle this like men.
And that's what I thought.
Right. And then somebody else that wasn't even in your view.
No, yeah, hits me with the back of the head.
Hits you in the back of the head.
Then everybody just kind of gathers,
Right.
So it's like a little brawl.
Right.
So I'm just like trying to do as much as I can and just picked up a knife and whoop.
So the knife was just sitting there.
It was somewhere there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you think about, did you see, or you just
I just who banged it, just grabbed it, poof. My life for theirs is not going to be mine.
So then what happened at that point?
I left.
Okay.
I left and I got charged,
Yeah.
I got charged.
How long before they found you? Did you hide out?
I turned myself in.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
My mom was like, hey, what are you going to do? And I was just like.
So you went home and you're like, Mom, I got something to tell you.
Yeah. She actually cleaned me up because I had blood in the back of my head. I had a bunch of blood in the back of my head. So I was like, what do you want to do? So we just kind of give it some time. And she's like, boy, if you turn yourself in, it'll look better. And I was like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
But then she said, you got to think about your daughter, She's still little. She was 3 years old. Or 4. She was 4. And I was like, let's go. My mom made me breakfast.
Wow.
And it was her, and I think it was my brother. And I went to Southwest and Riverside, and I said, hey, are you guys looking for me? And they looked at my name, and they looked at the paper like, yeah, we are. And I just said, here.
Did they trip out when you went in there?
Yeah, but if you want to give your mom a hug, a kiss, we'll give you time. So that was kind of cool,
So what was the conversation you had with your mom at that point?
Like, do I really want to do this? She goes, I got your back, just come home. We're going to help you. We'll take care of your daughter, but just do what you have to do. We know it's different, and we'll ride this out together. So every time they offer me a deal, I look at my mom, you're shackled. I'll be like, what do you think? I'll be like, nah, they didn't offer me no deals for a little bit. And I was like, Mom, I can do 12,
Mm.
And then she was like, at this age, I was like, nah. So we played around a little bit with the lawyer and the DA. They offered me 7. And I said, I'll take that. But during that time, I got more time in there, So I went a little bit over.
So an immigrant mom.
Yes.
With probably a limited education, I'm guessing. Maybe she left Mexico before she graduated, has these kids.
Yes.
One of them gets in trouble. Now she's almost acting like an attorney, giving you wisdom and counsel.
Yes, with my dad doesn't speak English or Spanish. No, he speaks Spanish, but he doesn't speak English. He don't know how to write, He just knows how to write his name. So my mom takes care of all the big things.
Wow.
So my mom's like, she's the backbone of our family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm looking at her for advice, like, what do I do? And it's like, what's time to act like a man, like, you got this? And I was like, all right.
Time to act like a man. You got this.
Yeah.
That was the words out of your mom's
Yeah.
mouth?
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge, man.
Yeah.
But loving you the whole way through, and you're I'm going to be here when you come home.
You know what my mom did? She would drive from Menifee all the way to Centinela State Prison, Valle Imperial. Every other weekend, she'd take my little girl to go see me.
Wow.
And there's one time where my homeboy was there, and he was going out to visit, and I never made it because the riot kicked off. So he said that my mom bought all these snacks because you can buy food from the vending machine. And after we got off lockdown.
Oh, so you were coming down to visit, right? Kicked
No.
off, you got locked down.
Yeah, we got locked down.
Yeah.
So I was in my cell, and they said, Ortega, you got to visit. And I was like, oh, man, I didn't know my mom was coming today. I thought it was the next weekend. So I'm getting ready and start shaving my head. I used to be bald, so I'm shaving my head, getting a little ready. My clothes, I got my visiting clothes, my blues,
Ironed up, looking
yeah,
fresh.
bona fide, I got
Yeah.
the good ones. And back then was the Levi's with the cuffs, all creased up.
The blue shirt.
Yeah,
the blue
yeah,
bit.
looking good. Not those new CDC pants, I looking fresh, and they didn't make it. After lockdown, he goes, dude, your mom bought all this food, man, and she gave it to us. Like, she had it on the table. Like, hey, man, she knew that was my homeboy, He's dead now. He passed away.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because his dad committed suicide, and then he passes away, my homeboy,
Sorry
It's
to
crazy.
hear. Yeah.
It's okay, but it was cool because we haven't seen each other since we were kids, and he's on the yard with me, and he's going to tell her, your mom bought all this food. You didn't get to
So
enjoy
now
it.
she's getting you respect inside too, because she's feeding
Yeah.
guys with food from the outside.
Yeah,
Right. It's like, oh, Cisco's mom's hooking
Yeah.
us up. Okay, we gotta
yeah.
out of respect for your mom.
Yeah, and like after you start going to visit, it's the same community.
Yeah.
In prison, the same people that get
It's
visits.
community's community.
Exactly.
Prison, church, it don't matter.
And it's like, that's your mom, or that's the homie, and like every race, that's it. So you start making a little community of visits,
Yeah.
So everybody knows who's who now, and it's a beautiful thing because hey, you guys, there's extra food. You want this? And it's funny because you can't touch that. Why not?
Yeah.
Some people play that stupid
Right.
card like, oh, I can't grab that. Why not, dog? We're in visit. Grab it. Doesn't matter what he is or what he runs.
Yeah, I said so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's I think that's what bothers me the most when some people come out here and they try and play those little rules. I'm like, dude, it's not even like that.
Right.
People exaggerate, dog. They exaggerate like it's not even close to what.
Yeah,
you
I want to talk about the exaggeration, but before we get to that, remind me to come back to that. So you said a 7 or a 9 year sentence?
No, 7.
7. Okay, so you're facing 7 years.
Yes.
This is state time.
State time.
Okay, so you could get out in 5.
5 and some change.
5 and some
And
change
I-
if you're good and all that sort of stuff.
And I ended up doing a little bit over 9.
A little bit over 9 because you got in trouble while you're inside.
Yeah.
Fighting? Stabbing
some-
someone again?
Something happened in Arizona, and I didn't think the DA would pick it up, because you know how we got transferred from California out of state, and they hit me with the 115. I'm like, oh yeah, cool.
What's a 115?
Like a referral,
Okay.
like when you get in trouble and
Yeah.
it says DA rejection on the bottom. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm cool. So like maybe a month before we're getting transferred back to California, the counselor comes and talks to me. She goes, Ortega. I was like, what's up? She was like, you're not on the transfer list. I said, why not? Because the sheriffs from Arizona are picking you up. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, yeah, the DA's picking up your case. I was like, are you crazy? She goes, no, you're not going home.
Mm.
I went downstairs, used a payphone, told Mom, hey, sir, I'm going home. And I'm over here like tripping because I'm from California. How can I get charged for a charge that's even concerning California CDC rules?
Did you
right?
do something in Arizona before?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not in Arizona.
Okay.
But while I was in custody.
Oh.
So that was the weird part. That's why people were like, they can't pick. You're not a resident from Arizona.
Yeah.
And I picked up an Arizona number.
Wow.
I was in Pinal County, and they picked me up, and I went straight to Pinal County.
Pinal County, is that the dude with the put you in the pink to kind
No, that's Maricopa.
Oh, Maricopa. Okay.
I was worried about that. I was like, oh man, they better not send me there.
Because just being in pink is.
Yeah, I'm
so
just
the guy kind of was on to something with that,
Yeah,
kind of.
he was. He tried to humiliate you.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like the chain gang and all that
Yeah.
shit. You're like, oh man. Well, then I looked up the county. Oh, I'm in Pinal County. That's another count that way,
Yeah.
So I went to Pinal County, went to their state system, and I paroled from Yuma, from Cheyenne in Arizona.
So when you got the extra time, did that kind of now get you pissed and kind of level up your, I guess, anger or willingness to just dive into the gangster lifestyle, we'll call it?
No, it kind of just like, I was like, damn, man, what's the point of fucking being all right, not trying to do shit? You're trying to go home,
Right.
and these motherfuckers pin you with some other shit.
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, my mom goes, it's all right. I was like, what? It ain't all right. I was trying to go home, And I went to Arizona, and it's different out there, So I was just like, dude, what's going to happen? How the rules, like, you got so many factors and considerations you got to take in, like, what am I going to do? And I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to be me. Like, whatever comes. You know what? It's the best thing that could have happened to me. I learned, I learned a lot of things because a lot of people hide behind certain things. You can't do that over there, you're a one-man army or you're nothing,
Yeah.
You make your name and you make your name.
So let's talk about that for a second. I was going to wait till later, but this is a good segue. Listen, we're going to take a quick break and come right back, and I want to ask my brother right here a question about what would happen if I went to jail. I've got a question for you, and I want you to answer this honestly. When was the last time you had a detailed blood test done, like really going deep into your blood and finding out some of the things that might be going on? Now, let me share something with you really quick here. I coach men, right? I coach men all around the world. And the number one thing I hear from men when I ask them, when was the last time you had your blood work done, is, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. Listen, the older we get, the more important it is for us to find out what can only be found out in our blood. So I've made an opportunity for you to get a detailed blood panel through a relationship that I have with a company called Merrick Health. Now, I've vetted these people out for you. I use it myself. Matter of fact, I just went this morning and had my blood tested. Got the little prick right there in my vein. And the reason I do this is not just to find out where I'm at in health things like testosterone levels and other hormones that are vitally important that we don't talk about as men, but nutritionally, like, where am I at? What is my body lacking? Where do I need help at? So knowing is better than closing your eyes and acting like if you don't pay attention to it, that it's not going to be there. You really need to understand that this is important. And the reason you would want to use a company like Merrick Health, in my opinion, my experience has shown me, when I go to my GP and I say, hey, can I get my T levels checked? Can I get this checked? This is what my doctor said to me last time. We don't do that. Why do you want those numbers checked? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to let my doctor tell me what doesn't matter. I know what matters to me. So that's why I want you to go check out Merrick Health, man. Don't be this knucklehead guy that says, oh, I don't need to do it, or I'm not going to go get checked because I don't want to find out if anything's wrong with me. That is a horrible way to think. You're going to save 10% by using the code MAXIMIZEDMAN. All of the information is below on the show notes. I want you to go right now and check it out. I have made a detailed panel for you called the Maximized Man Panel that will give you everything that myself and the doctor agree you should get. And when you get it, you're going to have a consultation. You're going to be well taken care of, because trust me, man, this is an area of your life that you need to pay attention to. So go check out the show notes, click on the button, save 10% right now, and possibly save your life. All right, so you talked about making a name for yourself, being you, being real, like people finding out if you're phony and all that.
Yeah.
God forbid I do something stupid.
Yeah.
I get locked up in Vista.
Yeah.
How do I act? Like, if you were going to write a book on if a pretty white boy goes to jail with muscles, You know what they're going to ask you?
Yeah. How do I get like you?
Okay.
I swear, dog.
Okay, I got a story about that I want to tell you.
Yeah, they will.
Will I be accepted, or do I got to be...
And you know what's funny?
So this could be what is being misleading.
Yeah, this is the misleading part.
Okay.
I'm going to give you an example.
All right.
A little 5-foot dude with glasses looks like a dork, or whatever, how people want to call it. It doesn't matter, man. People accept you because of you. People make it seem like you got to be hard in prison. No, those are the guys that they pull the cards quick. You being you, hey, what's up, man? What you here for? Oh, this is that. Oh, cool. Those are your people over there. And people will accept you for you, dog, if you're you. Because you're in a den full of tigers, lions, wolves, bears, sharks. Any animal in the kingdom, they're there. But if you're you, anywhere you go, you're going to be accepted because you're you. But if you want to play this tough guy shit, people will check you real quick, you know?
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, man, how do you get like that? And people will be like, oh, man, I want to look like you. Once you show discipline, respect, and just be humble, people will never be like, you got to be a part of this. That's the misconception of it.
Discipline, respect, and humility. Those are three really good words, man, that apply in every aspect of life.
You're a man.
Yeah, you're a man.
You're
Discipline,
a man.
Respect, humility.
Your word, if you carry yourself, if you're here being disrespectful, being a lot of people like, hey, man, what's up with your dude? Straight up.
Yeah, so they're going to ask somebody else first before they come and check. Like, oh, he's cool. He's just a little bit nervous.
Yeah,
he don't know how to act.
Yeah.
He watched a movie and thought.
Yeah. For example, I had a neighbor, he was Russian. Oh, looked like Santa Claus. You know what he did every day? He would work out in his underwear, and I'll pass by, be like, Russo, you okay? He'll be like, yeah. He'll be boxing in his cell, and I respect it. I said, hey, man, you need anything? And he'll be like, no, I got money. You know, like, he goes, I'll be like, what you do, man? And I'm like, what is a 60, 70-year-old Russian doing here? I killed somebody. I started laughing when I see this paperwork. I was like, oh, he really did kill somebody.
Wow.
But he was doing it because somebody broke into his house.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
so did he get a manslaughter charge?
Yeah, he did. He ended up beating it, and like everybody was happy, you know. Like, but that just shows you, like, that old man, was probably minding his business at his house. Somebody broke in. He was defending himself.
Yeah.
So anybody can land in prison. Anybody can land in jail.
I talked to a guy one time. I went into, man, I can't remember what state I was in, but there was 2 levels, and there was a dude in the corner, and it was glass around the edge of his thing. And when we walked in, there was this red juice squirting out of the window.
Yeah.
He had tore out all of the like caulking in the window and poured high C down in it.
Yeah.
And when you walked in, he would hit the window, it squirted up and landed on you because he was just messing with you when you came in.
Yeah.
So I'm down at the bottom.
Yeah.
He's pointing at me. He's like, hey, you, come up here. And I'm like, I'm looking around like he's talking to me. He's like, yeah, come here. So I go up. We start talking. I come to find out he's a regular dude. Someone came on his yard in his house, started talking trash. He punched him, knocked the guy out. He hit his head on a rock, died, caught a manslaughter charge, and he got a public defender who didn't really do a good job. Ended up getting way more time than he thought he should have because, hey, I just hit a dude. And so he was angry. You know, and he's like, if I'm in here, I'm in here. You know what I mean? And I'm playing the part, and I'm going to act crazy. He goes, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm just me. But you know what? Fuck everybody, is what he told me.
Yeah, some people are like I don't have money. I don't come from money. I can't afford a lawyer. I'm pretty sure if I had a lawyer, I'd probably get like a good ass assault charge with the great bodily injury. 245. I would get one easy of those. I seen people do the same thing I did. They did a county lid, you know. But you know that's where, and then you just gotta take it for what it is. Learn from your experience. I studied a lot, worked out, learned as much as I could. That's what I'm saying, like. And I saw people that were in shape, I'll go to them. I didn't care what they looked like or what they ran. That's not my business. Hey, dog, how'd you get like that? How long did it take you with this food, you know? So, like, somebody like you have so much knowledge, so much thing to offer. All this bullshit that people say, I'm going to call this fool a bitch, that would never happen, you know?
Really?
Yeah, you call somebody a bitch, they're going to fuck you up. You can't just be calling fool bitches. It doesn't matter what, especially if they're another race, you know? That's what, like, when I hear fools talk this tough shit, I'm just like, dog, it's not even like that.
Yeah, you don't even know.
You don't even know, dog. People mind their business. People go to school. People go to church. You got inmates that are doing life that run these programs because they want to see people come home. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to go to board, you know? So they're in that community inside the prisons trying to help other inmates trying to go home. So when you got these fools that get out, do a 16.5 term, or did a little bullshit ass time in a minimum yard, they come on, they play like they're hard. You're just like, dog, it's not even like that, homie. You're giving the public, the view, the people, the wrong conception of what prison is, man. You know, there's things that happen, but you probably were not even there when it happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you heard about it.
Yeah, you heard about it. Now you're telling it like you did that shit.
Yeah, you were in the middle of it. And that was your story.
Yeah, nah, man. It's not even like that. If you were like that, you wouldn't be out here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because people fight cases. You know what I'm saying? If you're like up north or like somewhere, that county will pick up your case. So it's like, how can you say you did this without saying that the county didn't pick up the case?
Yeah, it's not on the record book.
Yeah,
anyway.
you should have been fighting it. That means you're full of shit. And all this big this like tough shit talk, it's not even like that, man.
Yeah. So how much time did you do total?
I did a little bit over 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Total altogether?
No, on that term.
Okay, so
yeah, on that term.
So you get out after 9 years.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, you swear to God you're not coming back. You tell your mom, you tell every CEO I'll never see you again.
You know what?
Like,
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened next?
I was out for a little bit and I started getting high again.
Okay, there we go. The drugs.
Yeah. And you know.
So what are you getting high? Were you doing meth?
Meth.
Okay.
I was doing meth, and you know, when you do meth, you assume a lot of things.
Yeah, you get paranoid and you get scared.
Big time.
You get,
Either you get scared or you want to knock everybody down.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be scared, but you're gonna knock somebody down. And I went back to prison, but this time I felt like I had a reasonable reason.
Yeah.
I found this picture of my daughter, so I snapped on my mom, and it's all in paperwork too. Like, you can look it up. I confronted my mom about, like, you know what, this doesn't look right, or you're on drugs. It doesn't matter. It still doesn't look right. She's still my daughter.
Yeah.
And I made a big scene, you know.
Pull that mic up a little bit higher.
I made a big scene, and I kept asking my little girl, like, hey, did something happen? And, like, I talk to my PO about this all the time. She goes, you can't change the past. Even if it did, if it didn't, you're assuming because you're on drugs, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fucked up because it fucks your mentally. Like, man, what if I wasn't tripping?
Right. What if I acted that way?
You know what I mean? So...
Well, meth is straight poison. I mean,
it
you know
is,
how it's
man.
made. Go ahead and grab that thing and just pull it up there real nice and high. We want to make sure. There we go.
Well, long story short, fucking, they found a bulletproof vest in the truck when I was gonna go drop off my daughter. You know, she was in a whole different vehicle. So I just kind of basically set boundaries that day to my parents. We're taking her here, you know, and they called the cops, and the cops came, and you know, and they found the vest inside of the truck.
So they just made it, that thing sliding down.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pull that back up. We want to make sure we
Like
get
that?
it. Yeah, real close to you. There we go.
That's good?
It's tighten it up. Yeah, get it up
There you go. Now that's better.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
And they found the vest, and I get charged with possession of body armor.
Mm-hmm.
I go to trial. I went to trial this time.
So is that a big charge? Because they're
Yeah,
automatically assuming you're going to
yeah.
go off and start a war somewhere.
Yes. Oh, you got charged with a 664-187. So when I get pulled over, it says 187. You know.
Oh, damn. Okay. They
Anytime
missed
I
the
get
664.
Yeah, it's just straight 187. You know. And I'm just like, dude, like, you know, and that charge is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. But and because it's violent, you know, it's a violent crime.
Yeah.
And the bailiff, I keep going to court, and he goes, hey, man, I'm a dad. I would have done the same thing. So now I got bailiffs.
Right, yeah.
The lady
on
that...
the other side of the line.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, what? This is never happy to be. Like, the lady that types,
Yeah.
she goes, I would have done the same thing. Bailiff, anytime I went to court, man, they'll treat me good. He goes, hey, man, your past is your past, but you're a father. I was like, what? I was like, man, hell yeah. Like, I was like, dude, and I didn't even care about the time. I was more like, dude, what if this did happen? Or
Right. So this second time you went in, you got how much time this time?
32 months.
32 months. That's what, 2, 12, 20,
It's almost 3 years.
3 years. Okay, so we got total of 12 years
Yeah.
now.
And then
How much time did you do on that charge?
I do 80%.
Okay.
So I did a little bit over 2 years and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe
And where are
more.
you locked up this time?
This time I go to Wasco. I went to Wasco. I sat there for a year because I was on where they lower your points.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I was in Centinela, Delano, Centinela, La Palma, Red Rock. I just bounced around all over, you know. And this time I dropped points and I went to CRC. And I paroled from there. And I came home. same thing. Oh, I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that.
CLs, we're gonna see you back, Cisco.
Dude, I come back. I come back and I go back to Wasco the third time, right? And I'm just like, fuck, dude. I seen the same show. She was, I thought you weren't coming back. I was like, dude, I'm back. And I was just more like, damn, dude. When is this gonna stop? You know? I get out doing that term again, and this time to get the feds pick me up.
So, before we get into that, we're going to take a little break right now, and we're going to find out why the feds picked him up. The number one thing I think that has helped me stay lean at 59 years old is being prepared with my food. I always hear guys say, when I ask them the question, what did you eat today? Well, I had to run through a drive-through. I didn't have anything to eat. I travel a lot, so I don't get good food. Icon Meals has been the thing that has saved my life and so many of my friends when it comes to anything as far as having your meals prepped. They taste good, they show up fast, and you can save 10% right now by using the code Clark. Trust me, I want you to head over to iconmeals.com. Check out all of the beautiful menus. They have the bulk box. They have the lean box. They have the keto box. They have something for everybody. If you're a vegan, you could go on and custom order the food that you want. You can custom order the amount of protein, the amount of carbohydrates, custom make a box or have them send one for you. Once again, use the code Clark. Go to Icon Meals right now. Save 10% and get free shipping. Okay, so state time and federal time, two different things.
Yes, very.
State prison, federal prison, two different places.
Yeah.
Federal prison, you get a little bit nicer experience, but you're doing all of your time, right?
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah. You ain't cutting no breaks.
So why? And when the feds come and get you, they don't play.
Oh no, man! They caught me running illegals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were what do they call them? Mules or coyote?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they got me, and it's funny because I went missing.
So you hid.
That's what they do, and my family's putting a missing report on me. Nobody can find me.
So wait a minute, you knew they were coming after you?
No, they got me in the border.
Oh, okay.
They got me on the border.
So how many? So give me the scene. Like paint the picture for people. You got a van. You got a semi truck.
I'm in my car.
You got people shoved in the trunk.
I'm in my car, and I'm crossing the border. I'm like, dude.
Alone, or do you got people in the trunk?
I got people in the car.
How many?
I got two.
Two people sitting in the back seat.
Yeah, and I'm like, man.
And you're like, your name's Joe Smith from
Yeah. Then I'm just like, you guys hungry? I promise you, once we get this done, we're gonna go eat. I got you. And then I'm like, dude, I thought the coast was clear, and I got. And I tried to put construction helmets on them with the vest. Like we're coming back from working, It didn't work. That was like.
So what did the border patrol say?
He was like, really, man? I said, man, I do iron for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm an iron worker, and I put the vest on them, and I put the helmet, and I got.
So they say, did they put you into secondary at that point, or they just straight lock you up on the?
No, they put me in secondary. They're like, you're on parole, probation. I was like, I am. I was on parole.
Yeah.
And I already knew, that. I was like, dude, you got anything to eat? I was already tired. I was strung out. I was doing drugs again.
You were just giving. You're like, I ain't even trying.
I wanted to get caught. I was just
by now you're seasoned.
I'm like, man, I'm tired, dude. I had no purpose of life.
Wow.
I had my daughter.
She's how old now?
No. My oldest daughter was, she's 22 right now. So Maya's 6. So I didn't meet my daughter 19 months. The second time I met my daughter, she was 19 months old, right?
Okay.
So now I'm back in custody in MCC in downtown. And my little girl she's 6 2 years ago. So 4, she was about 3, I think.
Okay.
So I did another term.
Right.
I didn't meet her till I got out when she was 19 months old, my little one.
So they get you at the border.
Yeah.
They don't tell nobody.
No.
They go missing. Your family don't even know where you're at.
People put in pictures of me on Facebook. You see where Cisco's at,
Wow.
Yeah, everybody.
No one even bothered to check the system or anything?
But it doesn't tell you.
Really?
It doesn't tell you. You check the system, you won't come up.
Wow.
Then
Is
like
that some undercover stuff they got going on there? You don't know?
Man, I'm just like, dude. And then once I guess.
So where do you go at that point? They lock you up and they bring you where? Down to
downtown.
Okay, downtown to
Yeah. And I'm
San
just
Diego
like, dude,
jail.
what is this? And then I was just like, oh man, I can't do this again.
So you go downtown, you're starting to see homies, you're starting to recognize people from being
Yeah,
around.
yeah. Then
Okay.
I'm just like, oh man.
So you recognize now as an OG, you're like a guy, you've established yourself, you've
Yeah,
set
right.
up.
And it's crazy because I ran into people I knew from the state.
Right.
And I was like, damn, dude, you cannot be here too, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this has to be a sign to stop doing this shit, you know?
Right.
I ended up in Victorville, right? There was a guy that I was with him in law school, like maybe 10 years back. He's doing 20 years, you know? And I was like, damn, dude, what? I'm coming out of the chow hall and I'm walking, I see him and I'm like, I said his name and I was like, what are you doing here? He goes, man, after I seen you, the feds picked me up. I said, shut up. And he goes, yeah, man, they gave me 20 years. I said, shut up.
Yeah.
I said, oh, hell no, I gotta change, you know? I gotta change, you know? And that's when I decided to get into what I'm doing now.
So they take you from downtown San Diego to what prison?
I went to Victorville.
Victorville. So
Yeah.
that's a federal penitentiary.
That's a federal penitentiary.
So it's a level.
It's you got in the feds is not like the state.
Okay, so you don't have the different.
They have the highest, then high, medium, low.
Okay.
And then they got the, I guess.
Yeah, work release or.
Yeah, I don't qualify for none of that shit.
Right.
So I was right there in Victorville, and I'm just sitting there. My cellie was from Arizona, right? And I got two of my friends that I talk to now. They were doing 10 years, you know? They're there on indictment. I was just like, more like, damn, dog, like, we really doing this? Everybody's older, dog.
Yeah.
It's like the state, you got young ass dudes.
Right.
The feds is older dudes, like.
Just tired, just
Yeah,
doing
dog.
it, man. It's like, man, I can't break out of this.
Yeah, and you know what I loved about that part, that place? Everybody's trying to help people, like, find new laws or, like programs. Right when I left, they were having, like, a AA program. They had a church. There's so many things, you know? But then COVID hit.
So by now, the tough guy thing is
It's
starting
not- it
to wear
doesn't even-
off.
Yes.
It's just a bunch of guys in there tired. It's like a family reunion or a high school reunion.
Dog, and the guys that act tough, nobody wants to be around them.
Right. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, for real. It's like, you see fools that say, oh, I did this, I did that. You're just like, dog, how do we want to hear that
It's like
shit?
having the same conversation over and over with a family
Dog,
member.
who
Like,
do you-
how many times are we going to talk about this?
Who are you trying to impress?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, everybody's like, man, my family this, I'm trying to do this. Everybody's just like, kind of like, they're on a whole different level, dog. That's what made me realize this life it doesn't exist no more.
Yeah.
It's for the birds, you know?
Yeah.
Like, ain't nobody gonna pay your taxes. Ain't nobody gonna take care of your kids. Ain't nobody gonna go feed your wife. Ain't nobody gonna feed your children. Ain't nobody gonna stop by and say, hey, is your wife okay? Is your mom okay? Are your daughters okay?
All the homies that were down in the streets and talking about, I got you, I love you, this and that. When you go get locked up, they're just gone.
You know, you got few
Right.
that they're your brothers. They're like,
Yeah.
I got you. But everybody's in the same circle.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't expect much because,
Survival of the fittest.
and if you're getting hired fucking up, how you gonna expect to depend on somebody like that?
That's a good point.
Right?
That's a really, a lot of times you don't think about that. It's like, hey, they got their problems. They're messed up too.
Yeah, then you want to play the victim. Oh, my homie, hey, dog, you were using too. Were you looking out for the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, now once you start getting sober and you start realizing the issue is not everybody else. The issue is yourself.
Right.
Because nobody forced you to go get high. Nobody forced you to get in that car. Nobody forced you to go do what you had to go do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when, like, the maturity comes in now.
Right.
You're just like, dude, do I want to be 40 years old kicking in a park with a bunch of 20-year-olds?
Right.
You see that.
Yeah.
You see the homies posted. Do you want to be that 40-year-old kicking at the park where everybody your age has a job, has a house, has a wife, has kids? And you're the 20-year-old saying, I don't want to be that fool's age kicking at the park with these fools.
Yeah.
But you're turning into that man.
It's like the high school football player going back 20 years later and hanging out with the football team, reliving old touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're like, oh man, there has to be a bigger purpose for me.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. So what's the worst thing you ever saw inside? Like the scariest situation you were ever involved in?
You know, honestly, the biggest thing that made me really like. I never really told this to nobody. Only like the people I mess with, and I was like, man, should I say this or should I not?
Yeah, think about it before you.
No, but I'm gonna say it. There was this kid, right? Because there's nothing wrong with what I'm saying.
Okay.
This kid, man, I knew he wasn't right. I know he wasn't right.
Like emotionally.
Mentally.
Okay.
And that's what I knew, like, now that I matured. Grabs a razor blade and starts slicing his shit. And we take off on him.
Yeah.
We take off on him.
Take off on him, that means?
Like, we fucking
really?
take off on him.
Yeah, wow. To stop him? Or?
No, because back then I felt like, dog, that is weak.
Yeah, wow.
And you're just like, that shit haunts me, dude. Because now
Really?
I'm trying to be, yeah, it does.
Wow.
Because I'm trying to be so positive, but I can't tell people like, hey, you know what? This fool slicing his shit. I just took off on him, you know, like we took off on him. And you're more like, now, if I saw that, I would help him.
Yeah.
I would help him. But back then I couldn't. Because you're in a place where like, you can't do that, you know?
Yeah.
You don't need that in your life. You don't need those problems. Why are you gonna help somebody out like that? But man, what if his mom passed away? What if he was molested? Or what if so many things can happen, you know? Because if so many things can happen to somebody that have trauma, and he was young, you know, and we didn't even consider asking him. We went to the first reaction we knew was violence.
Wow.
And you're just like, fuck, man, I could have, that right there, obviously I could have helped him.
Maybe you did in a weird kind of way. You know what I mean? Maybe he needed a little ass whooping.
That's what I say. You know, at that time, like, man, fuck that fool. You know,
Yeah.
like, but like, you're more like as you get older, it's like, I feel like violence should always be your last resort. You know?
Yeah, well,
but in positions like that, what do you do though?
We can always look back in hindsight and think there's a different way. The last guest I had on here, he was friends with Junior Seau, and
Yeah.
he feels guilt for not talking to Junior more because they played next to each other
Yeah.
on the football field. So I've got regrets, and we can all look back on it, man. But I want to tell you, brother, I'm so proud of you, man. You
Thank
know,
you.
And we barely even know each other, but
Yeah.
I feel like you said at the beginning of this, like we've been knowing each other.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we're friends.
Yeah, we are.
And I respect you because you had that transitional moment in your life. You did decide I need to be there for not just my older daughter, but my younger daughter, who I've had the privilege of meeting. She's so adorable.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and your wife, and I see you in the gym. I see you today. You said, Clark, I'll be there, but I got to go to school.
Yeah.
I got to go to school.
Yeah.
So when were you in that you were laying there one night, because that's usually the time that gets us, right?
Yeah.
When we're not caught up with all the distractions. You're laying there in your bed and you're thinking, okay, this is going to be the time.
The other times I was like, hell yeah, like I'm in the fucking jungle, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna become a jaguar, you know what I'm saying? But this time, like the guys I told you, they're out now. They're from LA, they're from East LA. Like we used to fast on Saturdays, you know? And after we fasted, we would make a meal and just give thanks to our families. And that fool be like, Chaparro, we gotta change this, dog. You know, because Fino would always be on the van in Gordo. Fino and Gordo were cellies. And he would be like, and they'd be like, Chaparro. And I would be like, yeah. And he's like, man, we'd always talk about like our kids, our moms, you know, like our lifestyle. Because they're from LA, I'm from San Diego, my city was from Arizona. And like, everybody was, my city was a bank robber, you know?
Wow.
So it's like, we'd always, you know what I mean? He did a portrait of my daughter in my back. And we'd just be like, dude, this ain't the life no more, you know? And so I met this brother, he was a Muslim. And he was fucking healthy, dog, like 6-pack, just, and I always see him working out. You know what I mean? Always running the stairs, had sandbags. And he goes, hey man, like, you be getting your money, he told me. Mm-hmm. He goes, you work out? I said, a little bit. And then I made a sandbag so I can punch. And they're like, damn, fool, this over there boxing in his cell, you know? So I had a little sandbag that I would tie to my bunk, and I'll fucking punch it. So I work out, and I do my burpees, I do my push-ups. But then I told that Muslim, I said, dude, when I come home this time, I'm gonna make fitness my life.
Wow.
And that fool was like, you got it in you, dog, because you're like, he's like, you're cool with everybody. you have no barriers. Like, he'll be like, you're a Southsider, I'm Muslim, but you talk to the blacks, to the whites, to the paisas, to everybody, to the others. I fucked with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I never really kind of like, I was never really like that, you know?
See, what you just said, though, really kind of just crystallized in my mind. That's why we met.
Yeah.
You said, when I go home this time, I'm going to make fitness my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Little did you know, when I passed by you,
Yeah.
minding my business,
Yeah.
because I saw you were doing your thing, so I
Yeah.
wasn't, and I'm typically the one who approaches someone.
Yeah.
You approach me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying this to pump my own horn,
No,
but
no.
one of the #1 fitness guys on planet Earth.
Yeah.
What are the chances of that?
I didn't even know who you were.
Exactly.
I was just like, damn, who is that dude? I was like, hey, man, like, because I seen you before, right?
Right.
But I get nervous talking to people, you know, because they probably look at me like, I'm like, damn, what's wrong with this fool? You know, like the lady at the gym.
Yeah.
She's like, sometimes you look like you don't want to be approached, you know? She said, because of my eyes. And I'm just like, nah, I'm just in my own little world, you know? I get nervous around people. So, but when I seen you, I was like, dude, I bet you he's around this age in my head, you know? But he looks fucking good. So I fucking went, hey, dog, how old are you?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I was amazed. I was like, you look good, man. I told you that. Even I was like, damn. Then when you showed me, like, what you do and, like, who you are and what you did, I was like, no way. This guy's talking to me. This guy invited me to his home. I mean, I was telling my girl, I was like, dude, I'm going to Clark's house. Like, let's make no plans. And I'm at work. I'm an iron worker, so I'm at the apprenticeship school, right? And I'm telling the iron worker, I said, dude, I'm going to fucking Clark's fucking studio right now. They're like, and I showed them, look, this is him, you know? Like, hey, Cisco, okay. I was like, really, dude? Like, and they're like, what are you gonna go do? I said, we're gonna go do a podcast. And they were like, man, shut up, dog. I mean, I got my clothes in the car, dog. You see, I just changed. I had my work clothes. And we're taking a test for rigging. And I was just thinking, rigging or the podcast. Man, fuck, I'm thinking about, hey, Mike, what time can we leave, dog? I went to the office, I had to show Mike. His name is Mike Swanson, right? He's the coordinator for the iron workers. I said, dog, he's in Escondido, dog. Let me go right now, please.
Wow.
You know? And he goes, okay, you guys can get out of here, you know?
I just love it, though, that you did get outside of your comfort zone and just ask me a simple question, how old are you?
Yeah.
You know, that just goes to show that you can never prejudge someone. Like, I could see you tatted up, looking like a gangster, looking like a tough guy, and go, oh, man, that's, you know. And I know who I can connect with and who I can't, because nobody knows my story.
Yeah.
I don't know your story, but I would never know your story unless we had the opportunity to meet. Now the world has the opportunity to hear about Cisco and go, wow, this guy is cool. I can't prejudge everybody who's been locked up.
Nah.
Maybe they were bad at one point. Now, I know some dudes that don't ever need to get out. That's the best place for them.
Yeah.
Because they've been a part of the system and they might not be able to function, but you're not one.
No, hell
You're not
no.
one. You're
Hell
clearly
no.
a man who's made a transition. You're somebody who has said, okay, enough is enough. I want to move on.
Yeah, no.
And I'm glad I can be a part of this process. Now, one thing that you'll notice when you're listening, there's a certain language that's involved with prison that's different. Like, there's a vocabulary and some of the words that you use, right? Like, you talk about get your money.
Yeah, like getting your like it can be like, I'm gonna go get paid right now. I'm gonna either, you know, go work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you're gonna drive with somebody, your driving partners, your working out partner, you know? You know, and it's like, I don't like going into details about the other ones of like how people use slang to do stuff.
Right.
Because you know what? That's not even important. The important is like, if we're gonna get paid today or what? I got money. I robbed all banks today, you know? I used to say, I'm gonna pick up all the loose change on the ground, you know? For all the fools that slacked on the tier, I'm picking it up for you. Don't trip. I got you. Because everybody has a voice. Everybody has a voice. And it's like, you're not gonna fucking go listen to, hey, let's go beat these fools up, because it doesn't work that way, you know?
Right.
You never want to put your people in jeopardy. You never want to put somebody in a position, because violence, some people might not make it home, you know? So you never want to be the one to start something, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody has consequences.
Yeah.
Prison's full of consequences.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you can't just do whatever you want.
Well, it goes to life. You can't either.
You know what I'm saying? Like in the streets.
Yeah.
What happens if you break the law? You get arrested. You know what I mean? In prison, people just handle it another way, you know? There's different rules. There's different things that we all have to follow. It's just whether you want to accept it or not, you know? It's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you got to be involved with anything. Go to school, go play basketball, do you. Mind your business. Prison's about minding your business.
So what do you think of guys? So my prison story is, like I told you, I've been through a lot, probably 200 different prisons throughout the country, speaking with Prison Fellowship. You remember Prison Fellowship when you were in?
Yeah.
So I was the head of a variety program, if you would. Be me, former athlete, a comedian, a singer, 4 or 5 of us, and we would thread the gospel of Jesus Christ in there in the Bible. How do you look at these guys in groups when they come in? Do you really go in there wanting to get something from it, or are you kind of like, I just want to get out of the cell, you know?
You know, before, I didn't care. Like, I said, man, I ain't going to go to that shit. Why am I going to pretend to go listen to these fools? They got nothing to offer me.
Yeah.
But as I got older, one of my studies once told me, don't you believe in God? And I told him no. And then now that I do believe in God, it was more like, damn, I was so naive. Now if I had the chance to go, like if I was in that position again where these men came in, I would listen, but I never did.
Right.
I was never the one to go, yeah, I'm going to go.
So if you did now, would you tell like a group of people going in, like, hey, listen, give these people respect. They're coming here. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Because I never know. Like on my side, I was scared to death, bro, going in there, right? Because I'm going into prison. One time I was in Arizona. I got a lot of stories, too, from a different perspective.
Yeah.
We were in Arizona. We were out on the yard. We were on a basketball court, and I was leading this thing up, and I would do these feats of strength, bend horseshoes, break baseball bats, rip phone books. And I learned early on not to try and impress anyone, but I would have guys come up, and I would teach them how to tear a phone book. I would teach them how to do all this sort of stuff. Yeah. So I called 2 guys up, and little did I know, they were both holding down theirs, right? Yeah. One guy was like a norteño, and then the other guy was like a gorilla, like Mexican, some other rival. Yeah. Right? And the whole place went silent when I brought these 2 up, and you could see all the COs kind of go on mode. Like everything went serious. Like, oh no, he doesn't know who he brought up there. Yeah. Right? I had no clue, and I believe it was God kind of orchestrating this thing.
To create some peace.
To create some peace, man. Yeah. And afterwards, because I taught him how to tear a phone book. Yeah. And it's like God gave me the wisdom on how to do it. There was a really beautiful way that I learned how to teach this technique. Yeah. But these 2 dudes were able to interact. Now, I don't know if I stopped riots or anything like that, but after the fact, I realized, wow, this was something pretty big. Yeah. Because the CO said, man, this you don't even understand who you pulled up here. Yeah. These are the dudes right here. Yeah. And they don't necessarily like each other all that much, man. So there were so many things that I learned going in there. And one of the things, I was in New York one time on Long Island, and a guy started heckling me. Right. Yeah. He started talking trash. And by now I had been in there long enough myself. I wasn't afraid anymore. Yeah. I'm like, listen, man, your best thinking got you in here. I'm leaving. Yeah. You know? And the whole place just, shut up, you know, and this dude sat down and listened.
Checked him.
And it was because I was bold, because I understood, and I wasn't trying to pretend like I was some guy. Look, I ain't never been locked up for a second. Yeah. But your best thinking got you in here.
Yeah, you were firm.
I'm going home.
You were being firm.
Yep.
And it's respect.
Right.
He disrespected you by the things he said, so you had to check him. Yeah. So you set your boundary.
Yeah, I'm thinking, bro, I'm just in here trying to do my best to help. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You always got your ignorance, you know? But a lot of us that actually have grown out of that, when people like that come, you're like, damn, man, like, you know what I mean? It brings so much joy to so many men and women, because women get locked up too.
Dude, I've been in women's prison. I felt more scared in women's prison because
women are rowdy, huh? Oh, yeah, women are rowdy.
And bro, they're more conniving than men are, man.
Come on,
bro. I didn't need to be in there too long to understand. These women are trying to work me. They're trying to make me feel like I'm even better looking than I think I am in real life. But they have an agenda. They got a thing. Like, oh, let me get this. You know what I mean?
They're working it. Yeah, they're working you. Yep. Come on, man. If they do it on the streets, you think they're not going to do it?
Yeah, they got real slick with it on the inside, man. Yeah. But they would get really super emotional. And then you learn the pain points, right? You learn what to say and how to get into people's hearts and get beyond the wall that needs to be created. We all create walls.
Yes.
But
we all got to break them down, too.
We all got to break them down, man.
I think we're so, like, haunted by how we lived and what we've been through. That's a lot of us play that victim role, you know? Instead of playing the victim, it's like, why don't we do something about it? There's so many things out there for a person, a human being, to better themselves, you know? It's if how bad do you want it? Yes, you're gonna fall back because there's gonna be times you don't have no answers. Your addiction might get the best of you and you fall back. Doesn't mean you gotta stay down there. If you know how to get back up, it shouldn't be that hard to fucking snap out of it. Okay, I fucked up. Let me get back on the grind, you know? Because I've done it so many times since I've been out. I've been out 2 years.
So how do you stay out this time forever?
I've been out oh man, I don't look back no more.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Clark, I've been clean a little bit over a month, right?
Okay.
I've had my setbacks.
Right.
I was drinking every day, fucking up, but I was still always at the gym, you know? It's that little part kept me alive, you know? But in the background, I was still fighting those fucking demons, dude. Like, I'll be by myself, and I'll be like, fuck, man, do I really want to do this? Yeah, but what's stopping me? You know? There you go, playing the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this happened to me, or I went through this, or I can't do this. Now, everybody's the problem except me. Right?
That's big.
Right?
Everybody's the problem except me.
That's what we do.
Yep.
Man, I didn't like the way that guy looked at me. I don't like the what he said.
My wife's a bitch and this and that.
Yeah,
whatever.
when my wife's fucking checking me
Yeah.
for the stupid shit that I'm saying to her, you know?
Yeah.
Or this dude's looking at me like that because it looks like I'm under the influence. So they're not the problem. I'm the problem.
Right. They're just loving you.
Right.
And respecting you. That's why I told my buddy, man, earlier. It's
know?
the same, man. It's all the same.
And now that I'm not doing none of that, I don't have none of those issues. None. So now that makes me reflect. I'm like, damn, it was really me. Me playing the victim, trying to make it seem like it's everybody else, when in reality, it was me.
Wow.
Sometimes you just got to be a man and accept what you're going through, chalk it up, man up, and fucking move on.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, especially when we got people like you, I got Big Bully, I got Warpath, like, the handouts, they're not handouts. They're hand to help you better yourself. It's a community.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All these men got something to offer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got a lot to offer. Big Bully has Warpath. They all got something to offer. But it's me. I got to reach out. Hey, Clark, this happened. Hey, can you help me with some advice? Hey, Big Bully, this happened. Hey, Warpath, that's my community, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to break that because we got something in play, you know?
Right.
We got something in play greater than what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like I can help people with my story. You know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly what you're doing right now. And that's exactly why I brought you here. And one of my mentors told me a long time ago, he said, you're only committed to what you confess. And you're here today saying, man, I'm on the path now. I'm doing these things for my daughter, both my daughters, my wife, and more importantly than anything else, for myself, man.
I got 4 girls, Clark.
4 girls.
I got 2 that are mine biologically, and 2 are my step.
Yeah.
But they're my girls.
Right.
All 4 of them are my girls. Regardless of what we go through, they're my girls, you know? Yeah. I spend my weekends with my girls, except my oldest, you know? I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, oh, I'm such a good dad to my oldest. It's life, you know? Yeah. I've done so much harm to her because I've never been there. Yeah. But with my other 3, I got them.
Yeah.
I got them.
So what would you say, Cisco, in closing, to someone out there who's maybe on a path that isn't necessarily going to lead them in a positive direction?
I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're that one thinking that lifestyle is going to bring some type of glory, it's not. So many people said it before me. So many people said it before them. That lifestyle only leads you in 2 places, right? Either life in prison or in the grave. And ain't nobody going to help you with what you're going through. Ain't nobody going to give 2 shits about what you're going through. Ain't nobody going to give you a pat in the back for knocking some food down. Hey, dog, you knocked that food down. Ain't nobody gonna take care of you. You're gonna go sit in a box for the rest of your life. For what? Because you fucking knocked somebody down? So what? You got something underneath that belt? What did it bring you? You lost everything you had in the free world, and now you gotta listen to motherfuckers, and you're sitting in a box, eating the same shit, Monday through Sunday.
Damn.
Right?
That's nuts, man.
You got so much commissary you can only get.
Right.
What's the biggest thing you're gonna get?
A honey bun.
A honey bun with peanut butter. Fucking packages. What's so good about that? When you could have just not been a big man, done what you had to do, and fucking move on with your life, but you want to impress somebody. So you committed something that's gonna leave you somewhere where you just fucking lost everything you had. It's not the life anymore. Maybe it was at one point for some of us, But the way things are going right now, you see the streets.
Yeah.
The streets fucking look like a what's that show with the people, The Walking Dead?
Oh yeah.
That's what the streets look like right now.
Yeah.
We gotta be more worried about what's happening out here instead of fucking go knock somebody down. Because the way the streets are looking, that's what our kids are looking at. Hey mom, I seen this guy going like this, twisting his shit on the stop sign. I seen this guy pissing right there on the bush. Motherfuckers have no respect for kids because kids walk all over, you know.
Yeah.
And
I saw that yesterday on the freeway. 2 dudes just standing there, man. Like they didn't even try to hide.
Yeah, dog, and like you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What's going on? Now we gotta protect our kids from that.
Yeah.
Show them that there's better.
Yeah. So we're gonna finish this up. You remind me of, I met probably an 80-year-old black man. He was in there, never coming out, and he looked me straight in the eye and he said, "Listen to me, son." He said, "I'm not serving time. Time is serving me." And it sounds like that's what happened with you. You did time, but that time you did served you to end you up being exactly where you're at today. And I'm grateful that we're friends.
Likewise.
I'm happy to be a part of your life, and this is the beginning of you living that life that you said you were going to live when you got out of fitness, because this isn't the end, man.
This isn't. This is the beginning.
So where can people find you on Instagram so they can see you? So go ahead and give your...
My Instagram is See Me Luciano Fit.
Spell it out.
CMELUCIAN_fit on Instagram.
There you go. Go follow him. I'm at Clark Bartram on Instagram and The Real Clark Bartram on TikTok. Until next time, get busy living and make it a great day.